Hello my loves and welcome to your weekly reading. Now I'm going to do something just a little bit different kind of here. So I'm going to do this in a two-part kind of series. So part A, you have this sticker, which is you can never have too many books. And part B, which is read what makes you happy. So please take a second to pick what pile this is. If you are watching this on TikTok, because I'm also on YouTube, there'll be two separate videos just so it's not confusing. Whereas on YouTube, it'll be one long continuous video with timestamps. So again, pile A, pile B, pick what resonates and I will tell you about what's coming up in the week ahead. Pile A, thank you so much for being here. So this is your week ahead. I have shuffled and pulled, so I'm going to put these kind of over here. So I haven't actually seen these cards yet, so it's going to be really interesting. So we're going to be, in fact, I'll put those there, those two there we go. So this is your week ahead and the kind of present themes of the week ahead for you, which is the Magnus, and he is very naked, so I need to cover him up. There we go. So the Magnus is a really gorgeous card. It's one of my favorite cards in the Thoth Tarot deck because it's Hermes. It's Hermes personified. It is Gemini. It is all of those things. And I'm sorry if you hate Gemini. I'm a Gemini rising, but I'm Taurus. So, you know, lots going on there. But really this card is all about using everything within your disposal this week. I feel like a lot is going to be thrown at you this coming week, but it's a real gorgeous week for change and for stepping into our authority as aspect, stepping into our voice, recognizing a lot of what we want and what we kind of want moving forward, who we want to be around and everything there. And it's about recognizing that we're wonderful, we're majestic, we have so many skills. This card is very much of like jack of all trades kind of thing, and I feel like you're very much this week going to be called upon to sort of help people more than usual kind of thing. I feel like some of you have a bit of a rescuer kind of energy thing to you, and I want to say just don't burn yourself out, put some boundaries in. But it's a card where you might be, you know, this week exploring more of what lights you up, exploring more of what, you know, sort of creativity. I'm seeing some of you paint or draw or do things for the fun of it more than anything else. So it's a really gorgeous week. So I'm just going to move him over here. In fact, I'll move him away. So this card is your advice card, which is the Sun. Okay, let's cover those up. This is, I mean, you can't get better than the Sun card in terms of advice, which is like, be joyful. I mean, you can see how kind of joyful the two cards are here, and here where I said with the wall, boundaries. Every time I see a wall, I think boundaries. So again, just really embrace the week, embrace the joy, embrace the heat, embrace things that light you up. Maybe you need to take up a new hobby. Maybe you need to go back to a hobby that you've got rid of or you've not done for a while. And if you were looking for a yes or no, that's an obvious yes. It's a really, really gorgeous card to have in terms of advice, which is like, say yes to life, say yes to joy. It's a fantastic card. And then this card is what the things that you need to be made aware of this week and to kind of keep in mind as well. And again, very naked. It's the Prince of Discs. So I feel like it's really interesting that card kind of comes up as part of that, because it feels like you're getting ready to do some movement. Maybe you're I'm hearing for some of you, maybe you're dreaming and thinking of sort of moving, like physically moving house. Maybe that's something that you kind of put more into place this week. You know, you're putting things in plan in terms of travel, in terms of there's a movement here, but we're not actually physically moving as of yet. And again, we've got like a Taurus kind of energy kind of here. Sorry, I just flashed him. It's kind of difficult with with this. If I put my thumb over him, there we go. You can kind of see here. So like we're getting ready to move. We have everything at our disposal. Disc is also about finances and money. It's about the material things here. You have, again, you can see the kind of backdrop here. Everything at your disposal in the same way you had the Magnus kind of here as well. So it's a really good week in all for you. And the thing to look out for and to memorize in the fact of not running before you can walk. It's about planning and making sure you have your due diligence in, because we can really get wrapped up in the kind of the joy. Let me put my thumb over the nakedness. Really get wrapped up in the joy and the yes of life, and absolutely do that, but remember to still plan. Don't be too kind of head in the clouds, up in the air, and not do any of the practical stuff. I'm just going to turn that around and say thank you so much. And as ever, I'm trying to get to a goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can be monotonized, pay off some debt. Also just do a couple more things with a cool live. So as ever, please press all of the buttons. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. And I hope you like this kind of new form weekly read. Welcome, Pile B, to your weekly read. And thank you so much for being here. So I've already picked your 3 cards. I haven't seen what they are. So we're going to get into them. And I'm going to hope, unlike Pile A, that there's no nakedness that I need to cover up. Because I always forget there's a bit of nudity on these cards. So we're going to pick the first card, which is your theme for the week. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Princess of Discs is a really interesting card, and you can kind of take it a couple of different kind of ways with that. So this week there's a lot of emphasis on looking at your material because we have discs. It's very grounding. But can you see here the guidance that she has with the staff here? We're crystallizing what we've received from spirit, from the universe, our sort of innate intuition, and we're pushing it down and making it materialize. We're materializing our manifestations this week. But there's also a balance here. Can you see she's got kind of the whole world in her hands, or her version of the world, which is knitted, or pleated or plaited, however you want to kind of say. With that, which 1 takes a lot of work, but 2, you can see the yin yang symbol inside. So it is about still keeping a balance and a harmony in your life this week. I feel like there's going to be various different ways where you're going to be pulled from various different angles here, and you've got various different sort of labels and expectations and everything else kind of here. And I feel like I need to kind of push you and remind you that you still need to make time for yourself, because it feels like you're spending so much doing and not so much being, is what I'm getting kind of this week. And it's not that it's a testing week, it's just one of those where the demands are high kind of thing. So, excuse me, I feel like I'm losing my voice as well. So maybe, obviously, I'm not a medical practitioner in any sense. Maybe watch out for the times or bits where you might be slightly more sensitive to hay fever this week, or colds or flus or whichever else. You can still get like a summer, I mean it's summer here in the UK, you can still get like a summer cold, or whichever. This is your advice for the week. So that's a gorgeous card. That's really kind of helpful, and it's recognizing, oh my god, so look, I talked about the crystallization, and that's literally what the star is. Sorry for getting overexcited. I just love when this happens. So you can see I said about how pulling things from the universe, pulling things sort of ancestral, whichever else, making your manifestations crystallize in the now, and then we literally have the star. And look what she's doing. She's taking that dark matter, she's having that crystallization, she is flowing, and you can see the kind of shape that she's making is very similar to a kind of yin yang shape as well, kind of with that. And it's about recognizing that you are the star, you are the alchemist, you are incredible, and yes, you can balance and have everything in line with each other. And I feel like give yourself some grace this week, because sometimes you're a bit hard on yourself, Pile B, and yeah, just recognizing you're extraordinary, you're wonderful, and no matter what happens, what you do, you could literally, I feel like you're the kind of person, you're like my mum could make a meal out of nothing, and I feel like you're the kind of person that can make something out of nothing kind of thing. And this is why people go to you as well. So it's a really good piece of advice to recognize your importance, your authenticity, your authority, and your sovereignty. Those are big words for itself. It's really cool. The thing to look out for this week, interesting. So Princess of Cups, for me, I mean, cups is the emotion and the emotional and all the aspect of it, but there's a lot of emphasis here. We've got swan, lotus, sort of the fish, the turtle, the clam, sort of here, and she's crystallization. Princess of Cups always reminds me of family, and it always reminds me of, I think I talked earlier about labels as well, and expectations and everything. And so the advice here about what to look out for is don't be so overwhelmed or consumed by the responsibilities and expectations that other people place onto you this week. Recognize that you are the star, you are extraordinary, you are wonderful, and don't be too kind of wrapped up in everything else that's going on with the Princess of Cups. There's slightly more to the Princess of Cups in the traditional sense and in the meanings, but I feel like that is the kind of main thing to kind of help you out this week. Have a gorgeous week as ever. please, you know, press all the buttons on the right or at the bottom, whichever else. I'm trying to get to a goal of 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized, helps with a bit of debt, and also means I can do some cool things as well with lives and everything else. So yeah, greatly, greatly appreciated if you could press all the buttons for me, please. Thank you, bye.